Toy Fair is just around the corner, and with that comes the new release of new products from all of our favorite companies. Today, I thought I'd take a minute and talk about a company that I slept on a bit. I didn't really jump into it when I should have, and I regret it because there's a lot of good products I missed out on getting. And that is the Mezco 1/12 scale collective line. They have done some great figures over the years. I don't have a lot. And by a lot, I mean I only have 3. I have both versions of Iron Man that weren't the exclusives, because I think the black and gold armor was the exclusive. I have the stealth armor and the regular release. And then I have the previews exclusive Crescent Marvel Now edition of Moon Knight. Those are the only ones I have, and there's a lot more I want to get. I want to get the Warriors 4-pack. I want to get Popeye and Bluto. I want to get a lot of good stuff from there. I thought today I'd take the opportunity to talk about the figures that they haven't announced, but I would love to see made from this company. I have a list of a few, so I figured, you know what? Let me wish list you. Mezco, if you're watching, you don't have to listen to what I say, because I don't really have any authority of any matter towards anything. But maybe you'll be interested in hearing what I have to say, so let's give it a shot and we'll see how it goes. So we'll start with the big comic book companies that everyone's after these figures. I don't got a lot. A lot of my other ones are kind of just not related to that. But we'll start with the obvious one. I'm a big fan of Marvel, so I'd love to see a classic version of Hawkeye in the purple and blue outfit. Classic looking, straight out of the comics from that era. I know there's a lot of temptation to do the more modern stuff, but that classic Hawkeye costume looks so good and so cool. I'd love to see a cloth figure of that. And Man-Thing. I always have a soft spot for Man-Thing towards anything that happens in the comic books. I love that character. I think you guys could do a good job and knock it out of the park, make it look really interesting and unique. Maybe scale it up a bigger size than we've seen some other companies do, so that would be really cool. And DC Comics. I mean, I just want my favorites, pretty much. I mean, Booster Gold, I'll take anything Booster Gold. Love seeing him appear in any line, anything. Cannot wait for any figure of him to be released. Really upset the Icons one was canceled, because that's the one I really wanted from the Icons. And of course, Zatanna, the magician herself. Love her. Her design lends perfectly to this kind of figure, this kind of cloth. We could get some cool fishnets, get the top hat in there, make it look really cool and unique. And I absolutely love that costume and Zatanna. So any figure of her, I'll take. And Mezco could really knock that one out of the park. So I'd be excited for that one to come out if they ever announced it. And now the next couple ones are, I kind of group them all together as like these bigger ones that you could maybe do sets of. But so we'll just, I know they did a Space Ghost action figure. I love those old cartoons. I absolutely adore seeing them in these more modern stories and adapted in a good way. That's why I'm excited for Scoob, because I feel like Scoob's gonna lead into a lot more of those old HannaBarbera stuff. So on the subject of HannaBarbera, to go with the Space Ghost, let's do Birdman. Great looking costume, figure lends itself perfectly to that kind of action figure. It'd be so cool to see. You could go right next to your Space Ghost. You could go a little further, maybe do the Galaxy Trio if you want that. Or you could even do an exclusive of a Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. I love that old cartoon, that one's really fun, so jump in there, get that one going. It could be something really cool coming from a Birdman figure like that, a lot of cool exclusive opportunities. I'm not done with HannaBarbera. There was a comic book initiative a couple years back that DC Comics did with HannaBarbera, and they did some cool partnerships and we got some cool stuff out of it. So kind of in that style, kind of like how the Popeye was a reimagining of that classic looking but kept all the features of that original design, the Flintstones. You could do some 2-packs if you want, like Fred and Wilma, you know, get Barney and Betty. You could do Pebbles, Bam Bam, and the dinosaur. That would be really cool to see. Or you could just do Fred and see where that goes. You could spin off from that one like we did with Popeye. I love the Flintstones. I love the Mark Russell comic that came out a couple years ago. That design, I think, lends itself to something like this, and I would love to see it done. And on that note, the Jetsons. Let's go right around the world to the Jetsons. I love them. Like, the Flintstones is probably closer to what my family's like, but the Jetsons is just, I love seeing how they act, everything that world sets up. That comic book, the mini that came out at the same time as the Flintstones did, that was really cool. I really liked that book. I'd love to see what happens if we get more of that. And we could do a George and a Judy and an Elroy and a Jane and a Rosie and an Astro. You could do 2-packs, you could do 3-packs, you could start with George, work your way down. You know, always start with the big guy, then go to lesser ones. But I love that. And that style could be perfectly fit in with your Birdman, with your Space Ghost, and all those other ones. And sticking with the trend of Hanna-Barbera, they gotta do it. Like, if there's any figure I'm almost certain we're gonna see eventually from Mezco that's cartoon related, it's gonna be ScoobyDoo. I can almost guarantee we will see this at some point. This one feels so right and so natural. Progress Shaggy and Scooby 2-pack. You get a Daphne, a Fred, and a Velma single release. You could even pair them up with like a costume monster, like a Frankenstein, a Wolfman, a Mummy, a Ghost. In that style, that's perfect. It would be so cool. That style lends itself to a more mature look of the Scooby-Doo gang. I don't know if we'd get to the Mystery Machine. If we did, it'd be really cool, but I wouldn't hold out hope for it because it's kind of a bigger scale thing. How are we gonna do that? You could base it off of the movie versions, you know, like Freddie Prinze Jr., your Sarah Michelle Gellar's, you know, you could do that if you wanted, or do an interpretation of the cartoons and just make them look realistic in a way that they did with Popeye. I would love to see this. I would jump on that opportunity in a heartbeat if those ever came into light, because that'd be really cool. And of course, if anybody knows anything about me, I love a certain era of campy ladies in skimpy outfits. It's not a sexist thing, there's just great stories told of these characters. So, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I love all the merchandise of Elvira. We could do something really cool here. We could do more, you know, you could do more variants and exclusives in the red dress, in the purple dress, and she's done up like the Mummy, when she's dressed up like Santa. But the classic skinny black dress, cleavage, the legs, the hair, in the Mezco style, you have me buying every single figure I see. And with that, I've talked about her numerous places besides just here. Barbarella. I want some Barbarella merchandise. I love this character. I love that movie. The comic is okay. I want more from her. And doing her in this style, I think it would lend itself perfectly. Again, more variations. She has a lot of outfit changes in that movie, and I would love to see something happen with that. And, you know, just a couple of fun ones to throw in. Our mascot on the channel here, Tsunami. That would be cool if we ever got around to doing random characters that they throw in. We could, Mezco, you want to do a partnership, we could do a Tsunami figure and we could write a little comic to put in there with it. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be open to doing that. So Mezco, hook me up, or I'll hook you up. We'll hook each other up. We'll talk about it, because Tsunami could be a fun figure to see. And Comrade Hulk here. Yes, who doesn't want a communist Hulk that is going to share his batteries with you? Need I say more? Love this guy. I love Mezco. I cannot wait to get more into this line, seeing further releases coming down. I know I started late, but I can't wait to get into this. And those are just some of the figures I would like to see them done in the 1/12 scale collective. Let me know what you guys think of my picks, what you'd like to see, what you think's kind of dumb. And if you like Comrade Hulk here, let me know. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Remember to like, subscribe, support my Patreon, and have a good day. We'll buy figures.